Hi, everybody. I am Debbie Belaus with Feel Good Qigong, and I want to talk to you about this new season that we're coming into. We are in. It is early summer. If you've been following along with me, I teach seasonally. We have 5 seasons that we work with. 5. I know usually it's 4, but we separate summer because it's such a long season. We have early summer and we have late summer. Now, you might have noticed a change in your weather. I live in Arizona and it's above average temperature, so it's very hot here. Unusually warm. It feels like late summer. And I know it's also happening on the East Coast as well. So we're getting these seasons, they're kind of unpredictable, but we can still observe them. And that's the whole idea of what Qigong is. It's about observing nature, how we cohabitate with nature, and taking the signs that each season brings for us. And for me, it's like a path that I follow. Nature's cues has a lot to tell us and a lot to learn from. So this season is early summer. So a couple of things that we observe for this season. Since it's early summer, it's also the fire season element. Each season has an element. This season is fire. The color is pink. The color is red or pinkish. It's the heat that we work with, and we observe it and how it presents in the body. Too much of it, not enough of it. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, which is really important for our health. We look at the direction is south for this season. The taste is bitter. The smell is burnt, which would make sense since it's fire. The sense organ, we have a sense organ. The sense organ for the season is the tongue. The sound is laughing. The emotion is shock and joy. So one side, the yin and the yang, shock and joy, like, remember. And the external manifestation is complexion. Again, I'm going to be talking about that. The bodily fluid is sweat. And the 2 organs that we work with, a yin and a yang, a solid and a hollow organ, is the heart and small intestine. Now, I know that's a lot of information, but it all comes together as we go through 10 weeks of just studying this early summer season, which I also like because there's so much information to these practices. It's overwhelming. But if we break it down from season to season, it's a little bit more digestible. And it's not so much about memorizing all this stuff. It's about observing this information in our bodies, in our energy, in our emotionality. And then you'll start seeing patterns after a while. After you've gone through 5 seasons, you will start seeing the patterns of each season. So right now we're in the observation season. And I'm going to post on here also the meridian lines, which we work with. They're the energy highways of your body. If you're not familiar with that, I'm sure you've heard of acupunctures. It's pretty popular. It is part of Qigong. It's energy. Acupuncture is working with the energies in our body. We have these energy highways in our body, and each organ has a specific energy highway to it. So we'll get into that right away. So the heart meridian it starts underneath the armpit, and then it travels down the inside of your arm to the inside of your pinky finger. We jump over to the other side, the outside edge of the pinky finger, and then we come up the outside of the arm to the back of the shoulder blade. It runs around the back of the shoulder blade, comes up the ear, and it ends right around here. Now that is the small intestine meridian highway. So we can do things. So there's a lot of energy going through this pinky finger. If you are feeling like you're having a heart attack, or somebody feels like they're having a heart attack, pinch that tip of that pinky finger, or you can bite it. I know that sounds weird, but that's part of the heart meridian, and you might be able to stop something in its tracks from happening. You can also, to keep that heart and small intestine open, you can also do this kind of thing where you're just kind of pulling on that pinky finger a few times. So just a little information, a little FYI of something that you can do, especially if you're feeling overheated. That's another issue. So one of the things that we look for, I had talked about heat, fire, heat, right? This is a fire time. Things are heating up. And what happens naturally, where does heat go? Heat rises. Where does water go? Water finds its lowest point. Same thing with our body. If we're not circulating our body, if we're not moving our body properly, then all the water, all the fluids in your body are going to pull into your lower extremities, which makes for a very unstable body. And all the heat's going to rise, and it's going to be in this upper part of your body. So now you're going to be hot-headed and top-heavy. And this is what happens with a lot of heart attacks happen this time of year too, because we're overheated. So we want to regulate our inner thermostat. And there's some practices that I show how you can regulate your inner thermostat. So keeping that in mind, remember, heat rises, water falls. And if you notice that your feet are very swollen, your legs are very swollen, that's a sure indication that you need to get some circulation. You need to get that heart pumping. You need to get the fluids up, and you need to get the heat down. Now, if you're feeling really overheated and really inflamed and in shock, or just there's so much stress, right? I mean, there's always stress, but there's a lot going on right now. In our, environmentally, there's a lot going on. Politically, there's a lot going on. Just still coming off of that pandemic. We're still trying to figure out what's going on. There's a lot happening. So we want to be really careful this time of year about our heart, circulating the heart, circulating our entire system, and regulating that heat, keeping it down, keeping this upper body cool, will be a very helpful for this time of year of fire season, early summer. If you're feeling really over-exasperated, you simply can just take your thumbs and just gently massage your chest, your heart. You can also use a healing sound. The healing sound for the heart is ah, A-A-H-H, ah, which makes sense. Ah. So you would inhale, ah, as you just soothe your chest, soothe your heart, getting that heat out of the upper body, getting it, removing it, bringing it down into your lower extremities, like in the belly, especially where you need that heat to help with digestion. You don't want that heat in the upper body. So just little practices that you can do. If you're feeling overheated again in the body, it's called the sipping breath. It's like sipping a straw. So do that a couple of times, and you will feel the coolness of it. It's like reverse breathing. So you inhale through the nose and inhale through the mouth, and blow it out through the nose. I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Inhale through the mouth, exhale out through the nose. So it's reverse breathing. It'll cool down your system immediately. It's a very easy thing to do and to touch base. And so those couple of things, pulling or biting on the pinky finger, because we have the heart meridian and we have the small intestine meridian that start and begin right here. Cooling down the heart, getting that heat out of your upper body, doing the reverse breathing a couple of times. You can also run your hands under your wrists under cold water, and also taking a cold compress and putting it on your neck. So a few things to do to get that heat out of your upper body and regulate the inner thermostat. The other thing we talked about, I had mentioned about the external manifestation is complexion. Another indication, if somebody's face is really, really red, they've got way too much heat in the upper body. Now, if they are sunburned, okay, that would be, also too much heat in the upper body. But if they generally have a very red face, that's an indication there's way too much heat in the upper body. They need to start getting that heat out of the upper body and bringing it down into your lower extremities. So just a couple of things to start observing this time of year. I mentioned in my previous videos, this is our baseline for this time of year. We're putting on our bathing suits. We're checking in. Is your body declined in any sort of way since last year? Does that bathing suit still look good on you? Do you need to lose some weight? And then we also, because it's warming up, we're going to be doing more muscle mass, working with our early summers, working with the smaller muscle groups late summer, we'll be working with a larger muscle group. So we're going to try to get some of that muscle mass on our bones. We still want to stretch our body, stretch our ligaments, stretch our tendons, so we don't pull anything when we start adding a little bit more weight to our body routine. So we have seasonal movements. I have what's called a basic recipe just to get circulation moving and going and stimulated. We get that energy to arrive. Then we go into seasonal movements. The seasonal movements for early summer is still stretching out the fascia and then adding a little bit of weight mass to the bones. And then we'll increase that as we go into the late summer. I hope you enjoy this, and I try to post something at least once a week. If you're interested, you could subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything. You just get notification that I just posted something. I have over 130 videos. You can look back in my history and look at some of the other seasons. And I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for watching. And namaste. I hope to see you soon and hope you have a feel-good day.